Yellow.
Yep.
What's up? What are you here to talk about?
I know you said you don't want to talk about it, but I gotta say this because I really don't understand it, and systematic racism too. But first, so you think I had a question? You said that you want to abolish police and prison. So
Correct.
how would you get rid of what would you do to the people already in prison?
Most of them would be released.
You will
The
release
rest would
them.
go to long-term care or long-term rehabilitative facilities.
You would release the criminals that made their choice to break the law
Yeah,
back
I
out.
would release most people from prison, yeah.
That would just start ruckus. So how would you
How would it start ruckus?
because most people, like you said, don't learn their lesson from prison, and you letting them free to go make
What
more,
what do you think most people are in prison for?
breaking a law. That's the only reason you go to
What
prison.
what type of law, my friend?
State laws, federal laws, constitutional laws, stuff like that.
Just FYI, a private citizen can't break constitutional laws. The Constitution is
Uh,
set up to tell us how the government should treat us, not private citizens.
okay.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah.
So second of all, okay.
Nothing
When I
against
when I
constitution.
asked you what type of crimes, I'm talking about like what laws specifically, like what are the categories of crimes?
Uh, selling drugs, murder.
You think most people are in
Uh,
prison for murder?
I don't think most people are in prison for murder, but murder plays a
That's
big
what I
factor.
asked you though. I asked you what are most people in prison for? What
Oh, that's what you
crimes?
asked me. I'm not sure, but I'm thinking more of crimes towards the felony list, especially in prison.
You
If we talking
wait, when you
prison
commit
county,
felonies, what type of prison do you go to?
you start off in state prison.
If you commit a
Well,
felony, what type
you
of
go to
prison do you go to?
felony prison, federal prison.
Okay. So, considering most people are in state prisons, it would
Mhm.
argue that most people probably aren't in prisons for like federal crimes.
Murder is not a federal crime,
Correct.
and
Murder is not the
people
reason
get
why
it,
most people are in prison.
but
Only about
it
3.2% of people are in prison for murder.
it still plays a big factor now. I really don't care about the
3.2% is a big
the
factor.
past. Right now, murder, drugs, and domestic violence, uh, illegal sexual acts, all that stuff right now is big right now. That's what's happening.
What do you mean
I'm
it's
not really
what do you
talking
mean it's
about
big right now? What
last
does
year,
that
the year
mean?
before last.
What is that? What do you mean by that? It's big right now. What do you mean by that?
A lot of it's happening. It's increasing, and I'm not just saying this because I'm just talking like I see this with my own eyes.
You believe the murder rate to be increasing? Like
In
countrywide?
certain cities, yes. Huh?
Countrywide?
No.
Thank you, Boo.
Certain cities.
So only in certain cities.
Certain cities. Yeah, because countrywide, you can't really say that. It's a lot of different states. Like, that's not really known. I'm talking about like the main states that we can name, like New York, the city of Chicago, well, Illinois in general, Florida, Cali, Nevada,
Which one do you want to talk about?
Chicago. I'm gonna definitely talk about Chicago because I'm in there.
Okay. And what's the murder rate in Chicago?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Why do you think the murder rate is so high in Chicago?
Uh, Guns, of course,
Okay, so it's guns.
but we can have guns. It's Like you
Wait,
said, Second Amendment law, right?
if guns, well, I believe in the Second Amendment, but I don't believe guns to be the reason why the murder rate is so high in Chicago. You do. So if guns are the reason the
That's the
murder
truth.
rate is so
What do you
high,
mean?
if guns are the reason the murder rate is so high, why do we keep guns? Kind of seems one to one that we should remove guns if they're the reason the murder rate is so high.
Remove guns in Chicago. That's what you're only talking about.
If you're saying the murder rate is high because of guns, yeah.
So, in the city of Chicago, just take out guns.
If that's the reason the murder rate is so high, yeah.
That's not possible.
Why not?
The constitutional law, the Second Amendment that you just said,
So
is not possible.
Let's just amend it. Let's add another amendment.
No,
Why not?
that's not. It don't work like that. It's not.
Why not?
This is
Yes,
not
it does.
a delusional world.
That's
You can't
exactly.
just do these
Wait,
things.
that's exactly how the Constitution works. We add amendments to change things in the Constitution. That's
It
why the
doesn't
gun
work like
law.
that.
That's why the
It goes
Second
through a
Amendment
process.
even exists.
It goes to a process. It takes years.
I
You have to get that
I
passed.
never
Like,
said
if
do
people
it.
in
I
the
never said
Supreme
do it
Court, like,
instantly. I never said do it instantly.
what do you mean? Like how
How
long
do you think?
it's
How do you
gonna
think
take?
amendments are added to the Constitution?
It has nothing to do with my argument.
Well, it directly
It
does.
really
I just
doesn't.
I just said I just
I'm not
said
asking about the
why
amendment.
can't
I'm
I
not.
just said why can't we just add an amendment to fix this? And you said, well, because we can't. That is your argument. Your
And
argument's we can't
and
add an
like
amendment.
no, you like making it seem like you can just do these things and you can't. You can't just take gun. You know how hard that will be. You know we have more guns than the military out on the streets. Do you think it's possible to grab every gun from everyone in general? You think that's possible? You think it's possible to
Yes.
free everyone and the people that go to do crimes in your little world, they go to health facilities. They kill a family
Yes.
member just because they was trying to just to take something from him, and while the family watches him go get help for a choice he made, he's not crazy or nothing. No mental problem. He chose to shoot that lady, but he gets counseling. You need prison.
Did I ever say counseling?
Whatever you. I don't remember the name of.
What does prison accomplish?
It's not. It's supposed to change people, supposedly.
How does
But
it do
people
that?
have different. Huh?
How does it do that?
Take your rights away.
So taking your
You
rights
can't
away changes you?
sitting in a box for years or even months, getting told when to eat, getting told when to wake up, doing all these things around other people that you don't around the same. Well, I'm not the same sex. I'm just being like being around the same sex all for years, even months. That'll change a person. No one wants to go through that all the time.
You know how it changes people? It makes them worse criminals.
Well, they go back. That's how it works.
So we send
Some
them to
people don't
prison.
deserve.
We
Huh?
send them to prison where they can become worse. Then we let them out for them to harm
Everybody
somebody
don't
else
become
just to
worse.
send
First
them
of
back.
all, everyone don't become worse.
Why is our recidivism rate so high?
Huh?
Why is our recidivism rate so high?
I don't know what that is. To be honest.
Recidivism is the likelihood that you're going to commit a crime when you get out of prison.
Apparently, they didn't learn their lesson. But what about the other people that did? Does that accomplish anything? It's not 100% of people not changing after they get out of jail.
What are you saying?
That's not possible.
What
No,
are
you're
what are the
saying
words coming out of your mouth?
you're saying a certain amount of percentage of people do these things, but it's another amount of people.
I'm saying the system is not designed to stop crime. It's designed to make you commit more crime so that the system can profit off of your labor.
It's designed to give you punishment. You're not forced to go to jail. You're not forced to go to jail. You make choices.
How many people in prison are innocent right
Life
now?
is
How many people in prison are innocent?
I don't know.
2 to 10%. depends on like economic reasons, but that changes. So 2 to 10%. So on the low end, 2%. So 2% of 2 million is what?
I don't know.
You can't do the math on 2% of 2 million?
No, I'm looking at a screen.
Well, if huh?
What?
You just can't do that math in your head?
What?
2% of 1 million would be what?
Can you just say it like while we still this topic? While we still talking about
I'm just shocked that you can't.
it has
Okay. So on the low end,
I'm high,
on
bro.
the low end, it'd be 40,000. On the high end, it'd be 200,000. Okay.
Okay.
So at any given
That
time, upwards of 200,000 people in a prison system are innocent. Okay. Now the next question I have, when it comes to
no,
people,
wait, before you ask me that, how are they involved?
they're innocent. They were arrested falsely.
Like just a random person just got arrested?
Happens all the time.
Well, that's odd. But what about the other 98%?
Well, so that's when we get into the next question. In America, until you can't be found guilty, right? So you're what until proven guilty?
Innocent.
Great. How many people in prison are just awaiting trial?
Oh, definitely a lot.
Okay.
But that comes with a lot of people don't have money to get bonded out.
Exactly. So
People,
prison is set up to harm poor people. Thank you.
but look, this
That
what you
proves my
don't
point.
understand. Wait, this what you don't understand about that. Everyone can't be rich. It can't happen. There's always going to be poverty. It's always going to be a low, middle, and high class. It's not possible for everyone to have money because everyone will not profit with everyone. Like, what about the businesses, McDonald's, Walmart, stuff like that? Everyone, clothes, cars being made, dressers, TVs.
Thank you so
Pe-
much for bringing up my next point.
no,
Capitalism fucking
Can I?
sucks.
Huh?
Capitalism
Capitalism?
fucking sucks. Thank you for bringing up my next point. We live in a system where there has to be poor people, which is why, and the system, in order to create more poor people, punishes poor people for being poor in ways like throwing them into prison where for things they didn't do, and make them await trial because they're too poor to get out of it, so they can then farm and utilize their labor for profit.
What can you do about capitalism?
We can abolish it.
You can't just do that. Like
We could.
everyone doesn't stand against capitalism.
Sounds like poor people should. You just claim this to be a system where there has to be poor people, meaning the system makes it so that people have to be poor. So
No. Like, why don't you just think about like what would be people work and get paid to make these things around the world? No one's just gonna volunteer to make a fucking car.
you know people restore cars all the time for free
Oh my god.
just because they like to build cars.
That's not gonna like you think everyone's just gonna I like
Why do we
making
need
cars.
why don't we just make every city a walkable city? Why do we even need cars? Public transportation.
What?
Yeah, why do we need cars?
We're in a big ass globe.
Cars can't travel anywhere on the globe. There's water.
We're in a country.
Okay.
It's huge. So you're saying no
And
cars, which means no planes, right?
why couldn't there be planes? I just said no cars.
Do you know how far airport is from most poor people?
So we'll have public transportation.
So you just want everybody to ride the bus?
If they don't have a car and don't want to build their own, yeah, why not?
Bro, it's crazy how the colleges go with everything.
Wait. Do you think you need to own a car if you live in New York City?
New York doesn't just have a city, bro. You don't have to stay in the city. And everyone doesn't stay in the
I
city.
specifically asked about New York City, not the rest of the state.
But you can't say, oh, well, and everybody that lives in the city of New York doesn't need cars. You can't just put one specific group of people into one bunch.
You
That's not how
don't
life
need a
works.
car in New York City. You absolutely don't. I'm from New York. You don't
Okay,
need a
I'm
car
not
in New
from
York
New York.
City.
I'm from Chicago. So we
Do
in
you
two
need a
different.
car in
What about me?
Chicago?
What? Hell yeah.
Why?
You get places faster. That's why they make certain things. That's why they make planes and transportation. Since you don't like transportation, don't use none. Make people walk everywhere.
Well, I said let's create walkable cities. That would be what I said.
That's not possible. You
We
can't
do
put
it all.
everything
We
in
do it
one
all the
place.
time.
We don't. You can't
Yes, we
just put every.
do.
You can put an airport. You can put an airport. You can put car
For things
dealerships.
like the airport, well, we wouldn't need car dealerships. There's no cars, remember? But for things like an airport, just put transportation that goes to the airport. We shuttles or trains.
Someone just told me Chicago is pretty walkable. Are you crazy? What? I just feel like this is like nonsense. Like it's delusional. Like it's never gonna happen.
What's delusional?
Like you
You
think that
said
you
we
can
just
just
live in a system that means
no no no
people have to
no.
be poor.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. I
You
think it's
don't see
order.
nothing wrong with people having to be poor?
I think it's
Have you ever been
order.
poor?
Yes.
And you don't see something wrong with other people having to be poor?
I feel like if I had to get myself out that situation, everyone else can too.
Okay, so you're just biased.
That's what they give you.
You just have
No.
survivorship. You're just biased. You
So
feel like because
you
I
think
had to do it, everyone else has to do it.
why not? What's wrong with
Why
working
shouldn't we
hard?
want easier
Doesn't
lives
that
for
bring
our fellow
value into
man?
life? That brings value into life doing like having a path, having a goal. If you just give a person everything, it won't mean shit. Have you ever heard about a motherfucker that's rich and feel like shit?
I don't think there should be rich people.
What the fuck? And what type of sense does that make? That makes
A
no
system where there's
sense.
not a class difference. I don't like
That makes
class
no sense.
differences.
No, that makes no type of sense.
Why not?
Everyone can have the same amount of money. What type of how will you live?
Wait, hold on, homie. I don't think there should be money.
Thank you, Boo.
Oh hell no. So you don't think you don't think it should be order either?
When did I ever say there shouldn't be order? I said there shouldn't be
That's the
money.
type of like money is order. That's how people
What are you talking
work.
about?
That's how people work. No, this makes no sense,
Money is
bro.
just a way for the state to keep us divided by class.
We don't need rich people. You know, the people that's saying we don't need rich people is poor people. You know? It's just like that's like hating on a person in
Wait,
real
I'm
life.
not poor. I'm not poor, and I don't think
I'm
we should
not
have rich
talking about
people.
you. I'm not talking about you.
But I
I'm
said
not
it.
talking about, I wasn't really speaking about you. I'm pretty sure you're not poor.
I'm
I'm
not.
speaking
But I
about
also
people
think
that
there shouldn't be rich people.
I know you don't. I know. I just heard that. But I feel like that makes no type of sense because what's the point of goals? What about the people that are rich? Do you think about how they feel about this?
I don't care how rich people feel.
So you care about poor people, but not rich people.
Yes, absolutely, 100%. Yes, yes, a million
You don't
times
give a fuck
yes.
what they've been through. What if
Almost,
they were
I
poor?
guarantee
What
you
if they were
that at
poor?
least 95% of people that are quote unquote rich exploited somebody in their past, somewhere along the line.
What about the people that grew up poor and got money? The music industry. There's a lot of them.
The music industry is exploiting its artists, not the other way around.
They're getting rich, bro.
If you
Lil
think
Durk.
most people in the music industry are rich, I have a real sad awakening for you.
God, they get money. Jesus
Most
Christ.
people working in
You
the
get
music
a
industry
contract,
live
bro.
paycheck to paycheck.
What about growing up in the poor and going to the NFL or the NBA or the NHL or the MLB?
What about it?
You become filthy rich playing sports,
Most athletes are not filthy
especially
rich.
soccer.
Most athletes are not filthy rich.
Most of them have way more money than we'll ever touch.
Great, but that doesn't mean that they're filthy rich.
I'm speaking at the LeBron, Cristiano
Yes,
Ronaldo.
LeBron is filthy rich. I don't think LeBron should have that much money.
Bill Gates,
I don't think Bill Gates should have that much money.
Kanye West.
I definitely don't think Kanye should have that much money.
I guarantee you got some shoes of his in your closet.
I don't own a single piece of Kanye West merch. Or article. I do not own a single Yeezy.
And these
I don't
people
own
aren't-
any of that. What? I'm literally wearing a Dragon Ball Z shirt. What?
You think because people rich, every rich person is fucking assholes? What
Yes,
about Mr.
I think
Beast?
I think Mr. Beast is probably the closest we're gonna get to a non-piece of shit rich person. Probably the closest we're gonna get. But even then, I still think it is inherently unethical to be rich.
What about power?
I think it's
Do you think
unethical
there
to
could be
hold.
power?
Wait, I kind of think it's unethical to be like a singular person holding power too.
So you think that's how life works, bro? Like even with animals, it's always a king, it's always a queen.
Wait, that's not
Like
true. Dolphins do things democratically. Dolphins have like governments.
that's why dolphins not considered animals to me. I'm speaking on like lions.
So what the
and-
fuck are they?
I'm speaking on mammals, man.
Dolphins are mammals.
They can. I'm speaking on the animals that walk out of water.
There ain't no way, bro. There ain't no way.
Are we sitting here laughing at a mammal?
I'm laughing at you. That was so stupid.
It's not that funny, bro. You act like you're 12.
Dog. Dog. Dog.
It's not
That's
that
really, it really is. I'm sorry, but it
was not.
really is that funny.
It's not that funny, bro.
It really was. Go ahead.
what
Sorry.
about-
Continue. Go ahead.
What about lions?
The
Tigers.
female lions tend to do most of everything. The male lion
it
kind of just
doesn't
sits around and does nothing.
Fuck. It's the male is the king, bro. It doesn't matter.
I'm sorry.
what
You've watched too much Lion King. That's not actually how lion prides work.
It's not. I love animals. I watch animals all
You
the
love
time.
animals, but you didn't know dolphins were mammals.
I don't give a fuck about animals. Dolphins. Why you ain't speaking about dolphins? It's fucking millions of other species.
He said I love animals, but then he said I don't give a fuck about animals.
I said I don't give a fuck about dolphins.
Bro, this is too much. This is too much for me. Dolphins are probably the closest in intelligence to us. That's why we talk about dolphins.
Technically, it's whales. It's not dolphins.
Okay.
So you can get that straight. But we're not gonna start talking about animals. I'm speaking on how you think there should be no power, no money, no police, no prisons, just a bunch of crazy motherfuckers going around killing people. That's the purge, bro. That's the purge. Everyone is not
How
nice
is that the
people.
Purge? How is it the
Everyone
Purge?
is not-
Hey, wait, I'm sorry. Did you watch the Purge movies? The Purge movies make it a point to say that rich people will kill poor people if given the opportunity. And that the only people that would survive and thrive in a purge system is the rich elite. That's the whole point of the Purge. Did you watch that movie series? It was always the poor people being hurt and the rich people. Like in the second movie, in the second movie, then why did you bring up the Purge?
The fact of people going wild with no rules. That's the main reason I brought up the Purge.
Media literacy is fucking dead, bro. Media literacy is dead. That's not the point of the Purge.
You trying to be funny, gang.
That's not the point of the Purge.
Fuck the Purge. The point that they made the movie the point of. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about the no rules, nothing. You can do what the fuck you want to do, and people go crazy. They're not just gonna walk around with a smile on their face and say hi to everyone. Motherfuckers robbing, killing. It's a lot of people with enemies, like you said.
Who was robbing and killing in the Purge? Who was doing it?
No one's talking about the Purge.
You are talking about the Purge.
I never brought up the movie specifically of the theory, the lesson of shit that they taught. I'm talking about the fact that they don't have rules. The Purge is like, you don't have rules. You can do what you want. You're not going to get arrested for anything. Jesus,
yes.
fuck.
And then when they put in rules where you could do whatever you want and you wouldn't get arrested, rich people thrived and poor people suffered. Because when you have a society with class,
I'm
class.
I'm asking you this. Is no you said there's no power, no money, no rules.
I've never once said there would be no rules. You did.
Okay, no power, no money.
Correct.
You can't say no guns. That's not possible. You can't say no weapons. That's not possible. So, and you let everyone that was in prison, most of them that was in prison, out of prison to walk around freely with guns and knives.
Well, I wouldn't let them have guns. You're adding that stipulation.
You can't say that.
I absolutely
Who do you think
could.
you are, Jesus? You think
Yes.
you can just change everything? I just said
Jesus,
it was
yes.
impossible to take guns off the street.
I disagree with you. I disagree with that take. I think it's
That's-
possible.
Go look it up.
Australia
Go look it up.
Australia got rid of all their guns. Why can't we?
Who?
Australia got rid of all their guns. Why can't we?
They have way different laws.
Yes, they
That's not
changed
the
their
same.
laws so they could get rid of all the guns.
You can't compare another country. You can't compare another country to the United States because, like you said,
But you can compare the Purge to the United States?
Jesus Christ. You still worried about the Purge and you getting schooled on what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
I'm going to tell you right now, buddy. I'm going to let you know right now with 100% certainty. You have not schooled anything but a school
whatever.
of fish.
You just trying to be funny.
The only
You trying
thing
to
you've
be funny
schooled
and all
is
that. That
fish.
shit don't
You
matter.
ain't
They just
schooled
left us
nobody
all
here.
Uneducated as fuck too.
You ain't
think
school.
you
You
can pull
literally
guns off
didn't
the
know that
street?
dolphins were
You think
mammals. You aren't schooling
you
anybody.
think you can? It has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
It had
That's
everything
that's
to do
the
with what
thing.
you were talking about.
That's the thing. That's what people do. You worried about some funny shit, and I'm trying to tell you real facts though. You worried? You think just take guns and knives and everything and free everybody and say no power, no money, and think shit's gonna go straight. You think every human being is
If
a
there's
fucking
no
robot.
if there's no
You think
power
no
and money,
human
what
being
what
has
incentive
feelings?
do
You
people
think
have
no
to
human
hurt
being-
another person? If
Huh?
there's no money, what incentive do people have to hurt another person?
It's a lot of different ways. What the fuck you talking about? Jail. In jail, it happens. They don't have money in jail. They fight over stupid shit.
They fight over
I seen a
power.
motherfucker-
They fight
and I
over
seen a
power.
motherfucker- No,
So if there
I
is
seen
no
a motherfucker-
power,
I see the motherfucker get shot because he stepped on his fucking shoes on accident.
yes, that's a power
What about
dynamic.
that?
That's a power dynamic.
What about me? I got shot 7 times over a fucking robbery. What about me?
That was money.
No.
You weren't being robbed for money?
I
So what were
wasn't
you being
being
robbed
robbed for
for?
money. Who knows? He just fucking pointed a gun at me. What you mean? And
So then you weren't
technically, I didn't-
robbed.
Technically, I didn't know what he was saying. He was standing there for 15 seconds, screaming, "Get out!"
So you weren't robbed.
It was an attempted robbery.
Wait, who was doing the attempted robbery? You or the other person?
The other person, I got shot.
Okay. Well, wait. You could still be the one trying to do the robbery. What were they trying
No,
to take from you?
Who knows? I drove off and they start shooting.
Then it seems like they were trying to take your car.
They couldn't have took my car from 15 feet away from me.
This shit is crazy, bro.
Besides
Dude.
that, that's not possible. You can't just. Everyone has emotions. It's a lot of reasons why ignorant people get into certain circumstances. It can be anything. A lot of adults act like children.
It's
You can't
mostly
control
money. It's
everyone's
mostly
feelings.
money and power. Those are the two
But
reasons
that's not
people
going to
commit
stop every
violent
crime.
acts.
That's not going to stop every crime.
What crimes wouldn't they stop?
Battery, assault and battery. You can
Assault mostly
kill
comes from a power dynamic.
it don't matter. You can kill a person with your bare hands. You can beat a person to death. You don't need guns.
I
What
didn't
about
ask
that?
about guns. I asked about money and power.
No, we brought up the fact that you said there would be nothing at all.
There would be no money and no power, yes.
And no guns and no knives, right?
Why would I get rid of knives?
What the fuck? I just asked you that a few minutes ago.
No,
you said no.
we could get rid of guns if we wanted to, but why would I get rid of knives?
That's what you said.
No, it did. No, it
You
isn't.
said- I swear to God, you said you would get rid of guns and knives. Promise.
You better swear to a different god then, because I never said knives.
No, I swear to your God.
I've never once said knives. Ooh, shit. What? What did you say?
What about the gangs? What can you stop about that?
Gangs are derived from a need
Gangs.
for money and or power and or safety. So if we can address those things, there wouldn't be a
No.
need for gangs.
No. That's
Yes,
incorrect. And
that
I
is
got proof of
correct.
it. And I seen it with my own eyes. It's incorrect. It's a lot of gangs from middle class children, ages from 13 through 17, that's in gangs just because of it. They have no reason.
I asked you where the
It's a
gangs
lot of
derived
gangs
from.
in Chicago. It's a lot of gangs in Chicago on the south side and the west side and the north side and the east side that they're just gang banging just because of it.
That's power. It's because they want power. It's because their gang makes them feel powerful.
How do you feel powerful when each one of us got guns and we going to kill a motherfucker? How is that feeling powerful?
What? Ask them. How should I know why that makes them feel powerful?
Okay, I'm gonna just go with what you said. You said no power. You said if you have no
It's about drive,
power
it's
now,
about power.
all
We stay
that's-
hungry, we devour.
Okay, no power. Yeah, like you said, but people strive power, right?
People strive power?
People want power, like you just said, right?
Yes, because we've convinced them that power equals like some form of like
No, we're talking
happiness or
about
whatever.
no. Okay, in your world,
Uh-huh.
don't people will still want power because you just said people strive power.
In the current system
When
we
I
have,
just
yeah.
said they have money, we're not putting money in it no more. It's
Wait,
just
in the
power.
current system we have, yes, they strive for power.
But what about in your system?
They wouldn't,
Why is that?
because their basic needs would be met. They'd have no reason to need anything else.
You don't need anything most of the time. Some people just want power because they want to be in control.
Because they have a need for power.
They have a need for control. They want to feel.
Control is power.
They want to control people. That's why people feel
that's
good
power.
when they have power. That's why people feel
yes.
good. It's obvious. That's why people feel good when they have power. People just like the feeling of power. That's why power is more important than money. You don't need money. If you have power, you don't need money. You don't need money, but money comes with power. So if you have power, you have money. But if you have no money, you have just power. You have just people that you can control and tell what to do. People like that. Why you think certain parents in certain households just feel the need they can tell their kid at the age of 19, 18 what to do because they feel like they still have power over them when they don't.
Because they get a boner for power.
Exactly. But that has nothing to do with money. It's
Yes,
between
it has everything to do with money because
how if it's just her son and the mother, or the mother and the son. What type of money is it?
because we live in a society, okay, that has convinced people that the only way to have happiness is to have power, and then that happiness over power is bred through capitalism, and then that infects every other way we socialize. So we now take this inherent feel that capital equals power, and that power is good, and throw that power into other instances. Now, a parent
So
who
apparently,
is
what you saying?
controlling their children at the ages of 18, 19, 20, I guarantee you, if you ask the parent why, the parent's going to say, because they live in my house, they'll abide by my rules.
But
So the parents
what
what?
happened? But what
How
happens?
go ahead.
But what happens when you just you changed all the rules? Does that change any way of people's thinking? Can you just transform people's brains unless you had the Elon Musk chip? That's different. But if you don't, you
Yes,
can't control
we
people's
can
brains.
we can socialize people differently so that they have
That won't.
different views
It's
on
not that
things.
easy. Like you can't just. You really think it's that easy?
To
It's no
to
way.
to socialize people differently. Yes, I do think it's that easy.
That's why a nice guy doesn't win. That's just nonsense, bro. That's
That's
not
why a
even life.
nice guy doesn't win. What's that mean?
It means you can't just be equal and everything's just great. No country is equal.
How would you feel? I have just a quick question. How would you feel if somebody came up and said, "Well, we need to bring back slavery because we can't just let black people be equal because that doesn't make things great."
It's not equal. That's not what I'm talking about, bro. That makes absolutely no sense to what I was talking about. I was not talking about equality with racism and stuff like that. That stuff
No,
is
you were talking
already.
about class equality, but guess what bred slavery? Classism.
No one's talking about that. I'm talking about your little bubble. You said this. You said you would cut all this
My
off.
little
You said
bubble?
everyone would be equal. No one would be rich. No one would be poor.
Correct, that's
Everyone would be in
classism.
the middle.
Yes, that would be removing classism. You said there
It
should be
doesn't matter.
classism.
You said there shouldn't be classes.
No,
Okay,
you
there's no
said
classes. It's just people.
there should be no class. Yes.
Okay, so
100%.
that means no. Yeah, so it's just middle. Everyone's equal.
Yes. 100%.
That's what I'm talking about. Everyone's equal, but you
Yes.
can't change the way you can't change the way people think.
Yes, we can. We
That's
do it all
not
the
going to
time.
stop. Like you said, a person kills a person. It's probably his enemy. He's probably not going to kill again. But how should that family feel? Now, when he gets out, what happens to him? People have anger. People have mental illnesses. People get angry. You can't control everyone's emotions. It's not possible. You can't stop crying.
You can't. Yes, we
No
can.
one can. No one can stop crying.
Yeah, you can. Yes, K-Space, you can. Yeah, you can
Because
remove most crime. Yeah.
if you could stop crime, you can abolish slavery. I promise you. I don't give a shit. You can
Huh?
abolish if you can stop crime, then abolish police. What the fuck did you say? Abolish police. That's if crime can be stopped with what you want to do, abolish police.
All right. Well, somebody K-Space paid to kick him, so we are moving on with our day. Bro, that was the wildest conversation that I've had in a long time.